Have you worked on your personal brand yet?
A personal brand is a little bit like the chicken and egg problem. Some claim that you need an audience in order to have a personal brand, while others claim that you need branding in order to have an audience. So which one is it, and how do you start, and which one do you start with? That's what I want to talk about today, and let's get right into it. First of all, we need to define what a personal brand is. To me, the way I would define a personal brand is a way for you to connect with the right type of customers, clients, or people in general that you want to connect with online. And if you're a freelancer like me, that would be your potential leads, your potential clients. And maybe if you're selling products, it would be your potential customers in that sense of the word. Basically, it's a way for you to connect with your tribe, in a way. And over the past year or so, I have gone from having no brand online at all whatsoever, making zero money freelancing, to now, where I am today, 1 year later, a little more than 1 year later even, having a solid personal brand, a solid group of people, a solid audience that follows me and connects with me and is resonating with my message. And so I've built this over the past year. And for me, that makes all the difference in the world. Because right now, for the past few months, maybe half year or so, I haven't been doing any kind of a cold outreach at all. All of my work that I do comes inbound. So people come through my profiles, which are mainly Twitter and LinkedIn, and asks me, "Hey Jonathan, could you lend me a hand on this project?" And I say, so people come to me because they trust me and my advice, me as a human, me as a person. And when you have that level of baseline trust, you can do pretty much anything you want with it. You can sell products, you can do freelancing work, you can do service work, you can do a lot of different type of products and offerings. And as long as you have people that trust you, they will purchase these services or products. And in my case, it's primarily services. But you could also utilize this for selling a course, selling digital downloads, selling ebooks, selling merch. You can utilize it for basically anything. All you need is the baseline trust. So a personal brand really is a massively powerful tool if you do it right. However, there are of course some pros and cons to personal branding. And let's start with the pros, because I'm feeling positive today. And I'm gonna go through this quite quickly because it's really just a bullet point list. First one, it will help you stand out in a crowded market. And this is done through creating like a memorable first impression. Second one being, you build trust and loyalty, which then plays into what we just went through moments ago with how you can utilize it for selling services, products, etc. And then a positive side effect of that is of course that you attract the right clients, or the right customers, or the right human, right audience. So those are the general pros of it. And as you can see, it all goes in the same direction. It's basically loyalty and trust and ability to utilize it for whatever kind of business you are. There are some cons, so let's go through. However, I have two of them. If you do it right, you will build a following. You will build a few thousand people that follow you, maybe even millions if you do it super well. And these people will know you for a specific thing that they clicked follow for. Let's imagine that you, like me, I talk a lot about personal growth and personal development and freelancing and webflow. So if I just continue talking about this and people start following me, people like you watching this, and then all of a sudden I switch to start talking about running. Running is a big passion of mine. A lot of you guys would probably maybe not unsubscribe, but at least become less and less engaged, because I'm talking about something that you didn't click subscribe for. So like, what am I doing? And that's a potential issue, because if you build this audience that follows you for a specific thing and you change topic all of a sudden, it's gonna feel disconnected. So when you have an audience, an established audience, you need to continue in the same track. Or if you want to change and need to change, you will have to do it very slowly and step by step. It can't be a drastic, like overnight decision. Oh, I'm gonna go into a completely different business now. It doesn't work like that. And then the second con is that it requires a lot of upfront work. Building a brand, building a business is kind of like raising a kid. It takes 18 years and then a little bit more. So in the case of me, for example, I was publishing on Twitter 3 times per day for about a little bit more than 6 months, and I was publishing on LinkedIn for about once per day. So I was publishing 4 times a day online on different platforms for a long time and didn't see close to any results. However, I kept going because I knew that it will lead to something better, which is what I'm doing now. Now I have people that watch me like you. But it took a lot of upfront work. So you will need either money to dedicate towards a dedicated person, or just a whole bunch of time to dedicate it to yourself. So you'll need time or money, and money is time. Time is money. Alright, anyway, so we've gone through some pros and cons. Let's go through some real-world examples of a personal brand. In the case of me, my personal brand is specifically online, specifically on Twitter and LinkedIn, primarily Twitter. Since I'm talking primarily about Webflow or web design freelancers, I would suggest and recommend, honestly, to build your brand online on a social platform, because of just the potential massive reach that it has. Think of it. If you create a blog, for example, either hosted on your own domain or built on a platform like Medium.com. Yes, it has a big potential in the way that you can potentially get millions and millions of traffic to your website, but that's gonna take either a shit ton of money to run ads, or it's gonna take a shit ton of time to make actually profitable and work. If you publish the same content on a platform like Twitter, you will instead almost immediately reach hundreds, if not thousands, of people. Especially now, with the Musk changes, you can see how many people sees your tweets. And for example, in my case, it typically ranges between 2,000 to 5,000 per tweet, which is a massive number. So social media has a lower bar to entry, and it's gonna have a quicker result for you, especially if you're starting from scratch. So to give you some real-world advice, actionable advice, I would say start with one platform if you're starting from scratch, because it's gonna allow you to put more focus and put more time on that platform. If you start with 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe, your time is going to be very spread out, and especially if you're starting out, you're not going to have much knowledge about what works, what doesn't work. So put all your emphasis on one platform, which is going to allow you to be known for whatever you do in your local circle, in your local network. And when I say local, I'm not saying like geographically local, I'm saying local as in your niche, your market. And make sure to be consistent. Super, super important. You have to be very consistent. If you start publishing a few times per day, let's say once per day, you will have to continue publishing once per day because the platform expects that and your audience expects that. Then if you disappear, for example, for a few days or maybe even a week or a month, the audience is gonna notice, and the platform is also gonna notice the same thing. Oh, this guy maybe isn't here to stay. So let's not promote his content too much because it's not doing good things for us as a platform. So be consistent, super consistent. Something I personally struggle with sometimes. For the past year or so, I've missed maybe only a few days here and there where I don't publish these 3 times per day. And much like anything I talk about, I always remind people to be human. And the same thing goes for branding and social media. It's very easy to want to seem like, oh, I'm this professional, I don't want to appear too unprofessional, like I need to the reality be the serious people guy aren't connecting with that. No one wants to connect with a company. Everyone wants to connect with a human. We're all humans. I'm a human, you're a human. Every single human on this earth is a human. It's quite basic, quite simple, but often forgotten. So when you publish these pieces of content online, remember the human. You can be funny, you can have some sarcasm, you can be annoyed, you can have these emotions and show them in your content, because what it's gonna do is, yes, it's gonna push away certain types of people, but it's also gonna attract certain types of people that resonate with the way you express yourself. You don't want to appeal to the masses. What you want to do is find the right type of people that resonates with your message and you as a person. Because when you do that, you build this strong, loyal foundation of a tribe that's gonna lay the basis for building this massive audience and platform. So don't be afraid to piss off a few people. That's just the way things goes. Everyone can't love you. I know it's disappointing, I've tried. Alright, so I hope these tips have helped you at least a little bit to maybe get you a starting point, or like at least get your mind working a little bit, get your gears turning, you know? If you found some of these tips useful, I'm sure you would also find my free ebook on the same topic very useful. It's about 20 pages and goes through social media from a branding and human perspective. And it's completely free to download. You will find it in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.